Good day to everyone joining us, and welcome to today's X Talks webinar. Today's talk is titled Food Packaging, Leveraging Interactive Packaging Technologies to Boost Consumer Engagement. My name is Nima, and I'll be your X Talks host for today. Today's webinar will run for approximately 60 minutes. This presentation includes a Q&A session with our speakers. This webinar is designed to be interactive, and webinars work best when you're involved. So please feel free to submit questions and comments for our speakers throughout the presentation using the questions chat box, and we'll try to attend to your questions during the Q&A session. This chat box is located in the control panel on the right-hand side of your screen. If you require any assistance, please contact me at any time by sending a message using this chat panel. At this time, all participants are in listen-only mode. Please note that this event will be recorded and made available for online streaming. You'll be receiving a link to the recording of this webinar via email in a few business days following this event, and you can also access all recordings you've registered for under your My Profile section in xtalks.com. At this point, I'd like to thank Constantia Flexibles, who developed the content for this presentation. Constantia Flexibles is one of the world's leading manufacturers of flexible packaging. The group supplies its products to numerous multinational corporations and local market leaders in the food, pet food, and pharmaceutical industries. In recent years, the group has developed from a supplier with a strong European regional focus into a group which is active on a global basis in the world's most attractive and fastest growing markets for flexible packaging. Constantia Flexible stands for premium positioning, leading technology, customer proximity, and highly efficient production facilities. Furthermore, the food division, with its 17 production sites, guarantee that a market leader from Europe is just around the corner in growing markets to support customer needs. It represents 60% of the company's group sales and is a global player with a presence in Europe, Russia, USA, Mexico, and India. Now, I'd like to introduce our speakers for today's event. Thomas Schultz is responsible for the group and food marketing of Constantia Flexibles globally. He's in charge of all marketing activities on a global level with a focus on key innovations. Amongst these is Constantia Interactive, a digital solution that helps companies to expand the communication tools of brands and bring them to life with augmented reality technology. Before joining Constantia Flexibles, Thomas Schultz worked for several years as brand manager of Procter & Gamble across numerous different brands, including Braun, Always, and Febreze, as well as direct-to-consumer multi-brand projects like the Olympic Partnership. He completed his studies in marketing and cultural studies in the Leuphana University, Leuenberg in Germany, and the Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona with a master's degree. Hubertus Urbanski is responsible for digital innovation at Constantia Flexibles. In this role, he overlooks the development of digital packaging solutions within the company. So-called interactive packaging allows smartphone users to dive into an augmented reality experience triggered by the packaging and provides brand owners new means of communicating with their customers. Mr. Urbanski has previously worked with startups on business development strategies and traveled through Europe as an IT consultant. He received his master's degree in international business administration from Rijksgraaf Universiteit Wien and a bachelor's degree in information technologies from University of Applied Sciences campus, Wien. Now, without further ado, I'd like to hand the presentation over to our first speaker. Thomas, you may begin the presentation whenever you're ready.
Hello and good morning, everybody. Thank you so much, Nima, for your introduction. Very well welcome here from beautiful city of Vienna in Austria. We are more than delighted to present you today a hopefully very exciting topic, which is food packaging. We want to show you how you can leverage interactive packaging technologies in order to boost consumer engagement. Myself and Hubertus will guide you through a set of hopefully very interesting slides, and more importantly, we will show you a live demo of the technology, which can do so much to your packaging. So, very, very quickly, this is Constantia Flexibles. And as you can see, we are one of the biggest packaging suppliers worldwide. Number 2 in Europe, number 4 globally, with a presence at factories in more than 40 countries around the globe. As said, we are headquartered in Austria, in the beautiful city of Vienna, and our main business segments are the food and the pharmaceutical industry. But without further going into detail here, I want to show you what this today is all about. Well, we have started our journey basically a year ago with asking the question, what is actually happening out there? And with out there, we mean what is happening in the world globally. And we came to the conclusion that our world is changing, and our world is changing in various aspects. And this made us basically realize that if the world is changing, if consumers are changing, then actually our packaging needs to change as well. And there needs to happen something to exactly the medium that packaging can be and used to be. So this is what we realize is happening. We have clustered this in 6 different megatrends. And the megatrends, as you can see on this chart here, are, for instance, urbanization, which basically happens all over the world, meaning that cities are growing, megacities are popping up more and more around the globe, and that consumers that exactly live in those cities have different demands than ever before. Another interesting megatrend are changing demographics. For instance, as you know, in the Western countries, like for instance in Western Europe, here consumers are getting older, meaning they live longer than ever before. So this, of course, has a lot of influences on the packaging and on products themselves. Another megatrend, and this is, I think, one that is the hottest right now, is sustainability. A different one, which is also pretty important and goes hand in hand with sustainability, is responsibility. Responsibility for our resources and our planet, but also responsibility for what is actually happening with our packaging after it has been used. Another one is brand protection. Brand protection is especially important in countries where the products are hijacked, where products are basically counterfeited by others and therefore do not guarantee the same quality that the consumer is actually expecting and buying. But the global trend that we want to talk to you today about is globalization. And globalization has many different aspects. One of the key aspects is, well, one second, sorry, my chart is not moving on.
Nima, can you help us?
Sure, I'll just take back control here and I'll pass it right back to you.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
And now I'm just going to pass that right back to you.
Sure. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, here we go. Now it's working again. I'm sorry for this. So, globalization, what does that mean? Well, it consists for us of 3 different things. One, and that's the major thing definitely we all witness out there, is about digitalization and how rapid this is going on. Secondly, the rising of the middle class and the need for premiumization of your product, which goes hand in hand with the need for brands to differentiate themselves. We have taken this a step further and looked into what does this actually mean for packaging. And when we look at what this means for packaging, then digitalization and packaging actually have a lot of things in common. One of the big things is the demand of consumers for product transparency. So they really want to actually know, where is this product coming from? What are its ingredients? Moreover, they are also interested in what is happening with the product afterwards. So with the packaging after I have consumed. Consumers do also have a high demand for interacting with brands. We have seen the rise of social media, and this is continuing with brands and consumers interacting and also leveraging consumers into the development of new products, but most importantly, into receiving feedback about the product. The third one that we see coming up and more actually being out there is mobile devices are taking over as the number one tool where consumers receive product information. Information such as said before, where is the product coming from, what are the ingredients and so on, but also how is the product actually, what is the product balance out there? Is it sustainable? Is it consumer friendly? All those things. And that's why we believe this goes hand in hand. Another thing is, and maybe some of you have seen that picture before, but that is exactly reflecting today. What you see on this picture is that one weird guy that I have just circled in red. Why weird? Well, because he's the only one on that train station that is not acting with his mobile phone in that moment. And this perfectly reflects today's society. We are very much, focused on mobile devices everywhere we are. And that's why mobile devices are key for innovation and the innovation that we presented today. Namely the innovation, how we want to bring your packaging to life. How we want to make packaging, again, a tool of communication, and not only a mean of transportation of ingredients. So, interactive packaging is the innovation that we have created and that we are proudly presenting it to you today. But before we go into this, we have also studied carefully what is actually the dilemma that we call for brands out there today, the dilemma they are facing. And one of the things that they are facing is that consumers are online, as said before. And this means brands need to be online via digital media. However, they don't really have the control about how to best use digital media in terms of it is sometimes a black hole. So this means the digital providers out there do not, of course, share their algorithms. But what they do is they change them constantly, which means I don't really have control over that, but I need to invest and, play this game along. Moreover, they set and change the rules at their convenience. I, as a brand owner, need to follow that and need to adapt. Afterwards, even if I have had, my media share out there, it is not necessarily a given that I will receive consumer insights or data from them back, but often it is, a big secret. So, in a nutshell, no money, no reach. If I do not invest into social media, this means I will basically not be seen out there. Independent of the number of fans I have, I need to invest. Another example, if I do not invest money into search engines, then basically I will not be found. And we all know how important it is for consumers today to be found when they search the internet. The third little one that we want to present you is, if I do not invest into online channels, into online selling platforms, well, my product will not be displayed how I want it to be displayed. Not as nice, not at a position where I want it to be, but rather somewhere hidden. So all this is what has led us to, let's look into and develop something, a tool that really does help brands out there and that does bring it closer to consumers, namely their packaging. But of course, we can tell you a lot. And of course, this is what we are very proud of. However, we have done a step into looking how is actually this our innovation perceived by consumers. Are they, happy and interested about this? And what we have done is we have done a huge qualitative and also quantitative survey exactly to check this. And we have done this in Germany, being a representative country of Europe with a high smartphone penetration. Because as said before, our innovation is focused on mobile devices. So what we have done is some intensive research, and I want to present you some of the figures. So interestingly, and of course, this made us very happy, we have seen that if presenting consumers a product that is enhanced by interactive elements and one without, consumers would buy or take a product with interactive packaging out of shelf. So this means they would be so interested in this and believe, as you can see with 62%, that it is a very interesting and a very innovative kind of tool and media that they perceive there. 58% of them would be willing to download a brand specific app. And this you will see is an important figure because our innovation is based on this. 49% say it makes a brand more attractive than if it has no interactive features. 65% would buy a product with interactive features, and they would choose it clearly over one without interactive features. Nearly 2/3 of consumers would be willing to log in, and that is important because if you log in, this opens up a totally new world when it comes to data management and dealing with consumer data. But enough talked about this. I will hand over now to Hubertus, and I think we are ready for some poll questions.
Thank you so much, Thomas. All right, before I start my technical introduction, I would like to have an interactive element. So Nima, could you please pull up the poll survey questions, if that is possible, please?
Sure. So everyone, our first poll question has been launched on your screen. And our question here is, have you ever scanned a product before? Example, a QR code. Now we have 3 options to choose from: yes, no, and not sure. And now I encourage all audience members to vote in real time on this poll question, and we'll take a look at the results. All right, it looks like most audience members have voted. Let's see these results here. All right, so 84%.
All right.
Oh, so sorry. Would you like to say the results?
No, go ahead. Just go ahead, and I will answer later. That's all right.
Sure. So 84% of audience members have selected the first option, which is yes, and 8% of audience members have selected no, and 8% of audience members have selected not sure. All right, and we actually have another poll question for our audience members to participate in. That second poll question has been launched on your screen. And this poll question here is, which company has first used a QR code in a commercial way? So again, all audience members, I encourage you to vote on our options, which are Nokia, Toyota, Samsung, and Volkswagen. All right, it looks like most audience members have voted on this question. Let's see the results here. Okay, so 33% of audience members have selected Nokia, 17% of audience members have selected Toyota, and 50% of audience members have selected Samsung. Now back to you, Hubertus.
Thank you so much. So I think the result was really interesting because we could definitely see that most of the audience have already scanned a QR code, a barcode, or whatsoever. And we think this is really the future because this will give you additional information far beyond what we used to see on the packaging. The second question was more of a fun element to entice you to the topic we are coming to next, because I want to talk about the evolution of the barcode. So, what is a barcode? A barcode is an optical machine readable representation of data. We all know what a barcode looks like, so I don't have to go into detail here. But what is really interesting is that it already started in the 1970s with the first barcodes. So information which was readable in a digital way was provided on whatsoever packaging or product. In the 1990s, a QR code, so a 2-dimensional barcode, was invented. And now we are coming to recent history. In the 2010s, we are moving to still 2D barcodes, but they are put into different designs and artwork. So as we can see here, on the first side, you wouldn't even see that this is a barcode and this contains digital information, but it is machine readable. So what is the future? What does the future hold if we already can put information into any artwork out there? The future is that these barcodes and these machine readable codes are completely invisible. So to the human eye, this will not be visible at all. We identified 2 technologies here which are usable. On the one hand, we have what we call digital watermarking. And on the other hand, we see image recognition as a mean of technology. So, meaning, the first one, the digital watermarking, is more or less a barcode printed all over the packaging, but it is completely invisible. Small dots of ink are used completely in the color of the artwork, so the human eye will not even see it. But to a machine it is, or a scanning device, it is readable. Image recognition itself takes contrast differences in the picture and creates a pattern which is readable for digital devices. So, answering the question, the second poll question, I can sum up, before we go into the video here, I can sum up that only 17% of you got the correct answer. The correct answer would be Toyota. So Toyota invented the QR code and to increase the quality of their production street in the 1970s. So the QR code is already pretty old. We received some general information right now. Now I want to go into detail into our interactive solution. First of all, I would like to show you a short video. Unfortunately, now we have sound. All right. So, as you can see, this was simply a summary video. I will go into detail right now, so it doesn't matter if you didn't see the video or you hadn't had an audio in the beginning. What we developed at Constantia Flexibles is a solution which is a one-stop solution to engage with customers. Basically, we have three steps. Step one is the content management system. So the content management system combines all the technologies we work with. So whatever it is, it may be a digital watermarking, image recognition, and we can create the content which we display on the packaging, on the content in the content management system. The step two is a customized brand application. So we have the possibility to realize a brand customized app which will display any content which was defined in the content management system. And last but not least, step three is the data. As you all know, when a digital device is used, data is being created, and this is of course picked up by our application and is stored in the backend in a database, which can be accessed also via the content management system. I will show you in a second. So our solution works with two main technologies. On the one hand, we have image recognition, as I said before. What happens when we use image recognition? At first, we have the physical packaging. This may look whatsoever. This can be a yogurt lid as displayed here. It can be a bottle, it can be a flow pack. The physical outlines do not matter at all. We can use all of it. What we do in the background is we take an image and put it into our database. Afterwards, we define the content in the content management system, which results, which you will see in a second, into a machine readable, via a mobile phone readable content, which is displayed on whatever the physical package may look like. Furthermore, all of this, the image recognition and the defining of the content is done in a content management system, so completely online, and also, which is a great thing, you do not have to be a technician, you don't have to be tech savvy to use the content management system. The content management system, as said before, is simply a web platform which you can log in. I will show you in the live demonstration as well. You can log into, you have all the projects you are maintaining on the left-hand side, and then you can create the content which may look whatsoever. You can see it is online accessible. You have all the projects, you have all the reporting data, you can maintain user rights, and here you define the content itself. Furthermore than only image recognition, our solution also works with digital watermarking. Digital watermarking, as being said before, is barcodes printed all over the packaging, but they are not visible anymore. This opens up to completely new use cases, such as anti-counterfeiting, anti-mixing, or the separation of really similar looking or completely alike looking designs and artworks. So this gives a really huge variety of use cases for our application. So this more or less looks like that. We have the physical packaging with a binary code, and there through printing are added together and into the final product. So you will have the exact same look of the product, but it has now a binary code implemented, which is readable for mobile devices. All right, our module 2 is what we call the content we already created. What is important to mention here is, we will show you in a second how this content looks like. There is no limits to imagination here. We can implement every solution out there, which can either be videos, promotion actions, interactions, trial actions, and even more. We have very powerful graphical elements, which you can show, which we will show you in a second. The third module is the data management. This is really important for a performance tracking and to know who used the application, when, how often, and where. So all these reliable informations which are really important for performance marketing are stored in the back end and can be accessed also through the content management system. Also, the personal information about consumers can be accessed here, so which we'll show you in a second. All right. Okay. All right. So this is an example of a sample report which you can create in the background. There's also no limitations to what this report can look like. We implemented a sample here which will show you how many application starts we had, how many application downloads we had, but this is more or less simply an example. So all KPIs, whichever interest you or the marketing department or management, could be created here and can be accessed quite easily. All right, I think we talked enough. It's time for us to show you how this solution looks like. We will connect our smartphone live at this very moment to show you how this solution looks like and give you a first-hand example.
Exactly. So what we have prepared is basically a demo pack that is not printed in any way that is special, but it's a total normal print. We have not put here any kind of digital printing or any kind of digital watermarking in it, but a very regular one. So this means that what you see here now is done via image recognition. This means we do not need to touch the artwork, as Robertus was saying. We do not need to change it in any kind of way, but we can actually start immediately with a product just taken out of shelf.
All right, so we will switch to a possibility to connect our mobile phone, which you can see here. So I'm starting the application right now. I think you all do see our application loading live.
So what we have just done is basically we've downloaded our demo app, which in the end would be any app the brand wants to have. So if the app shall look blue and will of course look and feel and talk to you like the brand, then exactly that is the case. So we are not selling a Constantia interactive app, but in the end it will be 100% a customized app that looks like the brand. So what we have just done now is downloaded our demo app. We have pushed on our mobile screen on the app logo, and this is what pops up. Here in that case, we will push now the continue as guest button so that the whole story and the whole packaging can now basically come to life. Now we push the OK, let's go. And what you can see now is basically our demo pack. Here we go. So by simply pointing with the camera on the product, as said, there's no special kind of printing. This is a normal design artwork we have not changed. Augmented reality features pop up immediately. As you can see, you can pretty much, shake the pack. You can look from it at various angles because there is exactly the way that a consumer would do. They would have it and hold it in the other hand. But as you can see, it works pretty well. So what are the features that we have just included here? On the top, as you can see, we've included a video. This can be any kind of video, of course, or any kind of moving image that you want to transport. The video works with audio, which we have disabled because of the connection. But besides, it works perfectly with audio, so the consumer can fully experience any moving picture that the brand wants to show him. Of course, you can watch the video in full screen. If you think, for instance, as an application for any kind of food device, where you would simply show a recipe video, of course, it will work without pointing at the product all the time, but you could cook next to it. So that is no problem. What we have also included here as a feature is, for instance, the Facebook button. So this means connection to social media. I just click that button, and what it will do, it will bring me to, in that case, the Facebook page of our company. So this could be a link basically to anywhere you want, to a simple website, but also to anywhere else. All right, I will now push the car game button. That is simply to show you that we can do various things, like including games. If you think of a brand that is very much playful or that is doing, a lot of gimmicks, for instance, also because it is targeting, children's products. Okay, but enough of playing. Now what I will do is push the lottery game button. So this could be any kind of promotional activity. What we have come up here with is a simple lottery where you need to log in this case via Facebook. Why logging in? Exactly because of what Hubertus was saying about big data. If a consumer logs in, and this is what we will do right now, we will of course receive, or in the end, you will of course receive credentials of whatever the consumer has left there on his Facebook profile. So in that case, we have simply connected with a Facebook button. We will open up the app again, and what it will ask us now in the next step is, it will ask us basically to open the pack and scan a QR code that we have placed inside the bag. Why inside the bag? Well, we want to make sure that the consumer purchases the product and that he is not simply, going through the aisle and scanning each and every product to find out whether it is the one that has won or that has not won. So we are now scanning the QR code that you need to imagine would be inside the product, and ta-da, you've won. So here you see immediately, yes, I am a winner. And in that case, I would be able to claim my prize. But of course, augmented reality can do more than simply this. It can make happen pretty cool things. So what we have here is, as you can see, a total new world. In that case, a random brand world that is happening. So here, the product serves as the base of where you can see little figures. We have included some rather funny sentences, but this just shows you simply how that world can come to life and what you can do with it.
Sorry to interrupt here. What you see, the video is a little bit shaky. This is unfortunately the internet connection. In real life scanning, this of course runs really smoothly.
That's true. All right. But as you can see, or imagine in a smooth showing way, this looks actually pretty cool. And what we would like also to invite you is everybody can download the demo app, which is available on the App Store or on the Google Play Store, simply called Constantia Interactive Demo. And then you can log on to our website, interactive.cflex.com, where you will find exactly a picture of the pack, and you can simply scan and experience yourself. So that is super easy, and for you to just experience yourself.
Yes, exactly. What I want to show you now is the possibility to change the content. So I will access our content management system and show you how easy it is to change the content. Because this is a task which a lot of our customers tell us that they want to have the possibility to create the content on their own. But probably they are not a technician, they don't know how to program apps or code. So this is why we created this back-end interface, which you can see here, which provides you any information. It provides you the information of how does the scanned package look like. You can see it here underlying the image, how the scanned product looks like. And I'm going to edit this now. And for instance, remove all those objects here just to see, to show you there is a difference to the solution before. And maybe, for instance, change the content of the video to another video, another image, or whatever there might be. So what you can see here is that the content, which is provided, of course, by the brand, we do not want to create images or any marketing content for the brand itself, because this is exactly what the brand needs to provide. And we simply provide a tool to leverage these means of communications via packaging, which was not able before. So I clicked on save here. I will now go back to my iPhone. I hope you can see it now again. I'm starting up the app again. Click on continue as a guest, and I will scan the pack again. So what you will see here is exactly what we implemented. We removed all those three functionalities at the bottom and implemented a new video. So for instance, we have a lot of more features, such as different games. We have the possibility of animations, which you saw before, of different animations, of countdowns. So there is no limitation to imagination here. What I wanted to show you now is how quick and easy it is to maintain the content. Furthermore, as you can see, I will remove it now. In the content management system, it is also possible to access the reporting. So I will check my report now. This is a demo report, which will provide you with the information I showed you before. But again, this is also an example, and you have everything in one hand. You access this web portal, and everything you need as a brand is accessible online. So here we have reports of any kind. This works with a powerful, with Microsoft Power BI, which is a solution by Microsoft, and there is no limitation to what the looks of these reports are and the content, of course. So I don't want to go into detail into the content here, because this is simply a made-up content from our side. But what you can see here is that everything necessary for a successful campaign can be accessed online. All right, so I will go back to the presentation and hand over to Thomas.
All right, 1 second.
Yeah.
There we go. So exactly. So you've seen our live demo. So we want to basically close the presentation part by simply summarizing up our USP and basically your advantages. So what does really differentiate us, Constantia Interactive, from other solutions out there? First of all, it is really your packaging. So this means we do not need to change the design of the existing packaging, no need to change the artwork of the design, but basically we can start with any product, with any kind of design immediately. There is no marker required. So you do not need a specific code like a QR code or a barcode in the past, but it is simply your packaging that serves as a whole as the code. And as said, this works with all products already sold, shelved, or that just come newly out on the market. Secondly, it is your app. This means the solution that the brand will receive is 100% designable to the brand equity and ideas. Any kind of content that the brand is providing and with which we do not interfere, because of course the brand equity is what needs to be taken care of. Anything basically that can be imagined can take place. Promotion, lottery, trial action, but also simple gimmicks such as videos, games, or whatsoever. Given that this is happening super fast without any long lead time, you can really have real-time brand building. So imagine your brand is sponsoring any kind of athlete out there or any kind of event. You can react to whatever is happening super fast. Congratulate, for instance, an athlete if he has just won something. The third point on this one is you don't need a third partner. So basically everything is coming out of one hand, and this is from us. So we have done all the work, have the right partners in place so that you can start right away. And thirdly, but definitely not last, is all about your data. So everything that is happening on the application, of course, in line with legal requirements, is in the hands of the brand owner. So we, Constantia, are not really interested in the data. This will go directly to the brand owner and they can act upon it. And as you've just seen, you can basically access the data, measure any kind of interesting fact like retention rates and so on with each and every single moment that the app is activated. So this altogether are our USPs and the USPs of Constantia Interactive. Well, with this, we hopefully showed you how you can add some wow to your package. And this is exactly what Constantia Interactive is all about. So I suggest we go now to the questions from the audience. Nima, what did you hear?
Well, thank you very much for your insightful presentation. Now, to continue sending in their questions using the control panel on the right-hand side of their screen. And I've already received a few questions from audience members, so let's start with those. So our first question here is, how many percentage of German people are willing to pay more if the label is interactive? Is this question raised?
Yes. So that question is a good one, and we have actually asked consumers about this. So the number that we've received, and it is representative of the German population, given the amount of people that we have asked, is 18%. So 18% of German consumers do see so high advantages in interactive packaging that they would be even willing to pay more for the product. Of course, we know that this number is, it's taken so and so, whether they really will pay more, we know consumers are not that easy. Nonetheless, it clearly shows how innovative and actually how much good it does to the brand if they're already willing to pay that much.
Of course, what we have to mention here is that this also very much depends on the content. For instance, if there is a really attractive game attached to the packaging, which is great for kids to play, then of course a mother, let's say, would be interested in paying a little more if their kid really likes what they see. But on the other hand, if the content is not of that high quality, then of course people would not be willing to pay more. Is there another question?
Thank you for those answers. Our next question here is, who is responsible for the content creation?
All right, so this is a very interesting question, I have to say, because this is totally up to the customer. As we've showed intensively, we have this content management system, so it would be possible for the brand itself to maintain the content. On the other hand, it is also possible if the customer says, yeah, we want you, Constantia Flexibles, to maintain the content, then this is also not a problem at all. What is important to differentiate, however, is that the creation of the content, so the creating of the videos, the creating of images, the creating of a campaign whatsoever, slogan, this is totally up to the needs of the customer, the brand. So we will at no point provide videos or images, because this is a very sensitive topic and marketing campaigns are centered around videos. So they have to be provided by the brand, but the maintenance is up for discussion.
Thank you for that answer. Our next question here from the audience is, how does a consumer know that the packaging is interactive or can be scanned if the design doesn't provide any information about this feature?
Thank you for this question. So we see interactive packaging as one tool out of many of a marketing campaign. Of course, this can be also used standalone, but let's imagine it is a part of a larger campaign. Then this means that other marketing vehicles need to point to this feature. So for instance, if you would have any other digital media happening or taking place, that would be ideal, because then the consumer is already in the digital world. Same holds true for social media. But yes, it is correct that you would need to tell the consumer, hey, look, this pack is interactive. This could also be, for instance, a secondary packaging, a secondary placement in the supermarket or any kind of shelf advertisement. This does, of course, not mean that you cannot change the design of the pack or the artwork, or that you could simply place a sticker on it. That, of course, is possible as well. But it shall simply show you that you do not need to go in a process that is, hugely intense time-wise, but also very costly in changing the artwork.
One thing to mention here is we do know that a lot of our competitors out there are working with markers. What we refer to as markers are visible design elements which need to be scanned. So we do not work with markers, we work with image recognition, which provides a huge advantage. As Thomas said before, we do have the possibility to add something to the package like any secondary elements like stickers or whatsoever, but we are not reliable on this. So what differentiates our solution from our competitors is that we have the possibility to work without any indication of the scanning, which, however, you could use other means of communication, such as a marketing campaign, to alert your users to scanning the package.
Thank you for those answers. Our next question here is, hello, are there any limitations in the size, minimal or maximal, of packaging that this feature can be used on? What are pet food companies packing, namely large bags such as 500 grams to 15 kg?
Thanks for that question. The answer is there are no real limitations in size. So a product that can be scanned can be as little as a box of matches, for instance, or a lighter, but can be also as huge as a bag, as you were saying, for pet food. So 15 kg, or a bag of cement or concrete. That is also possible. So no, there are no real limitations. However, what is required though is an image, so something that can be scanned, namely an artwork. You have to imagine if it would be plainly white without any logo or anything else like that, then of course it would not be identifiable because it has not a unique kind of a design or something brand specific. But besides, no real limitations.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that answer. Our next question here is, what technology is the app using?
So this is a very complex question because our application is using multiple technologies here. So what we are combining are multiple frameworks and programming interfaces. So as being said before, we work with image recognition mainly and digital watermarking. But furthermore, our applications are created with gaming engines. So this is a lot of technology which is combined here. As being said before, we develop an iOS version which is available in the App Store and an Android version which is available in the Play Store. So this is already finished and which can be integrated also in an existing application. So we have our great group IT, which is working on our technology, and they can also work on implementing our solution into existing applications.
Thank you so much for that answer. Our next question here is, what is the value added to your product?
Thanks for the question. Well, most importantly, with our application, the brands are able to basically roll out any kind of digital promotion and direct marketing campaigns in a much closer way to their consumers than with any other kind of media. I mean, in a nutshell saying, they have the phone at hand basically all the time. And with that, they have exactly this tool in their hands all the time. When they use this phone in the one hand and the product in the other, it cannot get any closer. Moreover, creating individualized campaigns for different products or regions are in a super simple way made possible. So here you have a real direct interaction between consumers and brands. And with this, consumers' retention, our customer retention can be improved and strengthened.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for those answers. We've reached the end of the question and answer portion of this webinar. If your question wasn't attended to during the Q&A session, the team from Constantia will do their best to follow up with you after the webinar. You can also reach out to our speakers by using the email addresses displayed on your screen. Thank you everyone for participating in today's conference. You will be receiving a follow-up email from X-Talks with access to the recorded archive for this event. A survey window will be popping up on your screen and your participation is appreciated as it will help us to improve our webinars. I also just sent you a link in your chat box where you can share this webinar with your colleagues on LinkedIn. Now please join us in thanking our speakers by sending a quick message through our chat panel. We hope you found this conference informative. Have a great day, everyone.